Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. And prop two. We hear you.
What it do? What it do?
We're gonna do the show right. We're gonna give you an introduction anyway. We're gonna put some respect on your name despite the technical difficulties. Anyway, on the line right now we have a legendary seamstress right here. She's worked with the best stuff. She's worked with the best legends you think of. Some of your favorite rappers she was a part of. She was a part of that Death Row dynasty. And here to tell us her story, her journey, and where she's doing from here, from 2023 to beyond. Let's all welcome the lovely Nancy Fletcher to Off the Cuff Radio.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, you guys. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you. How's everybody doing?
That was that part two intro right there, because I didn't know if I wanted to. I didn't know if we was gonna lose you or not, because sometimes this thing be acting up. So I was like, okay, we just gonna have to freestyle this.
That was a great intro. That was great. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me back. I appreciate it.
Look, Ms. Nancy, this is an honor and a privilege. You are deaf, like King said. We can't spell West Coast, songstresses without putting your name in it as one of the most notable and legendary. You're in the same, pantheon of greatness as LaToya Williams and so many.
Thank you so
of
much.
course, we got to put YMD in there too, because they sang on a lot
of
West Coast stuff.
my girls. Yeah, Natasha's my girl.
Yes.
Natasha and YMD. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, they were the backbone of the R&B socialist sound of the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And making those tracks, like the one we played, with MC Hammer, that song Too Tight, she was a part of that. We had to play that one to begin the show off. And we're going to get to the origin of that story, but welcome to Off the Cuff Radio. First of all, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, you guys. I'm really doing good. I'm glad to be here. It's a good weather out here in the East Coast. Where are you guys located?
I'm in the Carolinas.
And I'm in
Virginia.
In
Carolina?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's dope. Okay.
Myself, I'm in Hampton Roads, Virginia.
Okay, you guys in GA. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely.
New York?
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, yeah.
Oh,
wow. Okay, Flatbush, Red Hook, Crown Heights.
Yeah, well, Flatbush, I was born on Midwood Street. Well, I was raised on Midwood Street between Bedford and Flatbush. That's where I lived all my life. Are you guys, are you from there? Anybody that just said that? Who just said that?
Harlem. The old Harlem.
Are you from there, the guys?
Yeah.
Are you from Harlem?
Yeah, this is King. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah,
I'm
from
King's
old
from
Harlem.
Actually. King's family is actually from Harlem. He actually has Harlem roots.
Okay. I lived out there when I came back from LA a few years ago on Madison and 125th. You know where that is?
Yeah, Northeast. Yeah. That's Northeast Harlem.
Yeah. I stayed there for a minute. I love Harlem. I felt so good in Harlem. I don't know what it was. I love it. But I used to always go in Harlem a lot, hang out there a lot. But I never lived there until recently, Where'd you live in Harlem? Like, where are you from? Where you based?
Let me tell you this, though. You know where Jim Jones and them used to shoot, they shot the I'm About It video with Master P?
Yeah.
I stayed about 10 minutes from it.
Wow. Okay.
Then the Carolinas got a whole lot better for me, man. I'm like, the opportunity was good, and the people became more friendly, and the money was it was a little bit sweeter.
Where are you in? Are you in South or North Carolina?
North Carolina. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. My homegirl, Sunshine. Well, no, she's in where's Sunshine?
She's in Charlotte.
No, she's in Charlotte, yeah, and Anthony Hamilton, all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jodeci, of course. Jodeci's from out over there in Charlotte.
Oh, that's right.
And
yeah.
So it's a melting pot of talent coming to North Carolina. J. Cole, he's opening up that door.
Right. J. Cole, right, him too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, definitely. And the more we hear you talk, we can actually hear that New York coming out of you and whatnot. You can't hide that accent. That's the one thing about y'all New Yorkers. It just doesn't ever go away once you're born with it.
I know. Even though I was in LA for so long, I do. But when I kind of have like a mix, because people from here, my home, they say I sound country. People in LA say I sound like here, so it's weird, I was in LA for so many years. I'm telling you, so many.
I mean, we got to get to it. Tell everybody about the journey. Yeah. I mean, you got so much to tell. I mean, we're already going to have a part 2 of this, so we got to knock the part 1 out of the way. Let's get it. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I went, my mom took us out to L.A. when I was 16, and then, I was into dance, like modern ballet, jazz. I used to dance in dance companies. I've traveled around the world. Before I met Dre and them, I was a dancing, traveling overseas a lot with this company from L.A. called Black Ballet Jazz. Shout out to Chester Whitmore. He's like one of the top tappers. He's still doing stuff now. He was the tap dancer. So I used to tap, all kind of stuff. Then, I started singing a little bit. I did a few gigs singing, and then I met Dre, a guy named Tony Green from Detroit. He used to sing he was a bass player. He was Dre's bass player, and we lived on the same block. It's this area in L.A. they call it NoHo now, like Soho in New York. It's like in North Hollywood, where all the little, up-and-coming celebrities used to live, like Velvet DeVoe was all up there, all them kind of people. Just everybody used to live be around there, hang around there. And I used to live there, and Dre's bass player, his wife, heard me singing one day. I was walking down the street. She said I was singing. I don't remember. And Dre was looking for a singer at the time, right? So his wife heard me singing, and she was like, "Oh, I heard this girl singing, walking down the street. She sounds good. You should go check her out and take her to Dre." So he came and found me. Then he took me down to, I think we were at the Village Studio in West Hollywood. And he took me. Dre was in the studio, and then Dre was like, he put on one of George Clinton's songs and told me to sing the background, something like, nah, yeah, something like that. I forgot which one. So I was singing along because I knew about George Clinton. George was really hot in Brooklyn at the time. I was younger, but I remember my older sister used to go see him. They used to play all his music, Flashlight, all that stuff, so many songs. And then I just started singing along. Dre was like, okay, all right. He said, can you come every day? And he said, I might not need you all the time, but I just need you here in case I need you. He said, we're going to work on this project. I was like, yeah. So I started going up there every day. And, he took care of my living expenses, whatever, because I was up there all day. And then the first project was Doggy Style, Snoop's album. I didn't know. I knew about Dre and Snoop. I was from the East Coast, so we really weren't into West Coast rap back then at all. I had never been really into anybody from the West Coast. And they really did, I remember, I think the first song the West Coast had might have been, remember the song, say the hip, the one, the Chris, wait, I think it was that one, the Christmas, right, Rapper's Delight, right? That was the first song out, right? Wasn't that the first hip-hop song?
It's considered. Well, when you look at the advent of hip-hop...
Wait, is that the one that was like, and what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping?
Yeah. That's Rapper's Delight, 1978, 79. Yeah, Sugar Hill Records. Yeah.
Okay, well, it came out to L.A. in the 80s, because I remember it was like the 80s. I don't think they got it. That was the first song I think they heard. So, I really wasn't in... I knew about the East Coast, but then when they started doing the West Coast rap, I really wasn't into it. I was into, like, Rakim and all them, and KRS-One and people like that. But so I didn't really know. I knew about Dre and Snoop from that song Deep Cover. I remember that song from the movie. That's the only thing I knew about them. So, but when I heard Dre's music, I was like, oh man, he's really like, he kind of reminded me of, it was different than the West Coast music. It kind of reminded me of like a little bit of East Coast, you know, too. So I liked his music. So I was like, okay. So then the first song I did with them was Lottie Dottie. That's the first song I did, Lottie Dottie. And then
I sing on that hook.
Yes, it's because I did that, and then, you know, just every day we start doing everything, and then, you know, it was such a fun time up there. You know, everybody, Dre's, I mean, it was Snoop, Dogg Pound, you know, Daz Corrupt, Ray, Joel, RVX was up there a lot. Ricky Harris used to be up there every day. It was funny. I mean, it was so much fun every day. What's the little guy, I think, the comedian that passed away, AJ. Remember AJ Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was played, I think he was an Eazy-E in one of, I forgot, but yeah, AJ Johnson was always up there. It was always
the Dre Day.
Yes.
Dre Day video. Yeah, 1993 when it dropped.
Right. So he used to always be up there, just everybody. It was so much fun. I would laugh all day. That was like one of the best times of my life. And then, you know, but I didn't really know the impact or really I didn't know how anticipated the album was, you know, to start off. I didn't really know how big. I knew they were kind of popular, but I didn't know the magnitude and what they had planned for that album because, you know, when it came out, it was crazy. You know, the next day, because Dre had to rush the album because he was late with it, and like we had to do all the skits on the album at the same time. At the very end, it was rushed because Jimmy Iovine was coming to pick up the masters, and they said they had all these warehouses around the country. They paid everybody to stay overtime to press the albums. They could get to the stores the next day. I mean, I heard them saying that stuff when I was there, but I didn't really know. And then the next morning when I woke up, I was like, what? I could not believe how much that album was talked about. I mean, it was crazy. If you guys came, I don't know if you guys were, I don't know how old you guys
were. We were waiting. We were waiting.
We were outside with that. It was popping.
We were waiting.
Okay, yeah, but tell me your side of it, because now tell me how you guys, like, did people, like, wasn't anticipated in your area, or did you guys just hear about it when it came out?
You want to go first, King, or you want me to go first?
I'm going to go first and do it, because, see, everybody, I was probably about 13 at the time. And I remember everybody at my school at the time was talking about how we going to get the album, because everybody was talking about it. Because, you know, we had the box. And every day we would see Gin and Juice and what's my name? We was like, yo, we got to get this album. But I couldn't get it that first day because the parental advisory. You know, we was young. You know, they was like, no, you can't buy this album. So my pop, God rest his soul, right. I used him to buy it. And he bought that for me, and he bought me the CD of The Chronic. And I was mesmerized right there. Because I couldn't get it. You know, every time I was trying to get it. Yeah.
Who bought you that album? Who bought it? Who bought that for
my dad. My dad. I had to use my dad to buy that because
his dad was a G. He
was for sure.
Yeah, because my dad liked funk records. My dad loved funk records, and that's what drove that sound, because he loved like Roger Troutman, he loved Rick James, and he heard a lot of that in The Chronic and Doggy Style. Now he wasn't really, fond of the lyrics of certain things, but
right.
He just loved that sound. You know what I mean? And the sound was so captivating.
Right.
So I was happy. I was happy the kid at the candy store to get that album.
Man.
Right.
From my side of it, when we first heard Deep Cover over the summer, I mean, to hear a young Snoop at the time, to hear Dre, because this is coming off of pretty much a year after Dre leaves Ruthless Records. We all know that story.
Right.
So when we even get So we just heard around, there's this new movie starring Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum, deep cover, and then we find out later, and we got to give our listeners context of this, so I'll be a little long-winded, but I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. We didn't have the internet back in the day. We had MTV, BET, and the Source magazine.
Oh, yeah.
So this is how we were able to ascertain even the inkling. And 92 was a magic year. You got to remember, this is the same year that Tupac stars in Juice, and he was already known. So then we get another treat when we find out that Dre. Then we get word that Dre and this up and coming rapper named Snoop Dogg is going to be leading off the track. So we're already hyped because we know about Dre's history.
Yes.
So then when the song drops, and we are just, oh God, I mean, it was monumental when it hit. And then we find out later in the year that Dre is dropping his solo record. We're like, what?
Oh my God, the Chronic was crazy. Yes.
I mean, so the seed the Death Row planted would carry over into the momentum of next year. Of course, when we would get Doggy Style, like you said, and Snoop by then, you know, the Chronic basically rocks all summer from 93 on. It was an album that was embraced by us on the East Coast. We love you so much, West Coast, California. Thank you so much.
Right, that was the weird. Right, that was weird.
Yeah,
that was like one of the only songs that people I know. Because you know what, I really wasn't the only song that I was into from the Chronic. I'm telling you, I really wasn't into it, and now I can't believe I wasn't. Now that I love it so much, but the one with Joel.
Yeah, Dre Day.
I used to love that song.
Dre Day.
Yeah, Dre Day was, oh my God, that's the one song that I did kind of know. That one and Deep Cover when I first met them. But I didn't really know about the other songs on the, I mean, I think I knew about Swing Down Sweet Child. I think I, Let Me Ride. That one I remember, but not like all the other songs that I loved so much after I really got into it. After I met them, I started really, playing that stuff. And I was like, I couldn't believe I missed the Chronic like that. Because that's like one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, it was some of them songs, some of the production on Doggy Style was like next level to me. Hearing songs like The Shit Is It, Murder Was the Case.
That's one of my favorite songs. Yes.
I mean, and we all, and you know that they're actually they're re-releasing it on vinyl again in terms of like some of the songs that didn't make that, some of the songs that were kind of left off. And if I want to get my history right on it, because the cassette, I think there was a bonus track on a cassette that wasn't on a CD. The only complaint I have is that they didn't need to remaster it because the original Doggy Style and the original Chronic just sound perfect as is. And you confirm what we were wondering and even knew to a degree, that album was not fully completed. Of course, with Snoop's trial, the album, like I said, is like there was a lot of uncertainty of terms of what was going to happen. I know they were on a deadline, like you said with Dre, that they had to get it out. But that momentum that he carried from the Chronic, I mean, to see Snoop, to really, I mean, with the What's My Name video that at the time for Hip Hop Trivia, I believe was the most expensive rap video.
Crazy. I love that video.
I think that video
I love that video.
I want to say that was the first $1 million rap video at the time.
Oh, really? It was so iconic. That's why I hate that they let that. The record store, somebody should have really, the record store that he was on top of out there in Long Beach.
Long Beach. Yeah.
I first went when I came to New York.
VIP
they,
Long Beach.
that's
Shout
gone.
Kelvin Anderson.
VIP.
Yeah.
It's not even there anymore. I'm like, how could they let that? That's like such a landmark.
History.
I hate that. I hate that it's gone. I hate that.
We can put you in touch with Kelvin Anderson. We had him on the show a couple of years ago. Solid guy. We love him dearly.
Is Calvin the one that runs that owns VIP?
Yeah, he owns it. He owns it. He had to move locations, but we have his contact. We can get you in touch with him.
Okay, wait. So he still has a store?
He still has a store.
Yes,
ma'am. Yes. Yeah, he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh
he does.
God, where
he
is
just
it?
he doesn't have that location anymore. But VIP Records is still around. Yeah, VIP Records is still around.
I did not know that.
He just had Big Mike. He just had Big Mike in there a couple of weeks ago to promote
really?
his new album.
Oh,
yeah.
thank God. That's great. Because, you know, I know all the record stores are leaving. Remember there were so many record stores now because of streaming. It's like, and, you know, they don't really have, and you know, they have like the mom and pops, but I don't know if they do. I don't know if they have them. I haven't seen any. Like, what was the big record stores they had before? Besides, I mean, the major ones out here. Like,
it was Sam Goody's.
Tower.
Sam Goody's.
Yeah, all of
Tower.
Are those still here?
Virgin.
Are those here gone? Are they gone?
No, they're gone. They're gone. They're gone.
Oh, okay. Well, VIP, I got to check out VIP.
We'll get you. We're both following you on IG. My name is T-Max NBA
really?
on IG. Yeah, T-Max NBA. We'll get you that. We'll get you.
Please.
I'll hit you after the show, and we will talk. And King will as well, and we'll get you in touch with Kelvin. We're gonna send you that link for that show we did with him because that show.
Yeah, that was one of our favorite shows.
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. That history he gave us.
Check him out.
For those listening, check out the Kelvin Anderson episode on Off the Cuff Radio on YouTube. King has it up there. The history.
Will.
Yes, he gave.
Yeah, that's iconic. He really did that with that story. He did that, and Snoop really on the roof and everything. I love it. I love it.
When you all
yeah, I was saying too, you know, following what you were saying and we going on the 94 Death Row is rising high. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like superstars at this point. Y'all household names. And then you get to be featured on another big record that was off the Friday joint with Dr. Dre, Keep Your Heads Ringing. Like, what was
my God, that was...
What was like working on that record?
Now, that was really great. I really didn't... Now, Dre just, like, called me in because at this point, we were kind of moved away from Death Row, sort of like, you know, Dre was kind of, you know, separating. So we were at his house. Dre had a studio at his house, and we weren't going to, you know, because we had the Death Row crew had moved to Can-Am at that time, I think. I think we were between Can-Am and Larrabee in the Valley. But Dre had a home studio, and we were just there all the time. It was me, Sam Sneed, Flex, who wrote a lot of stuff for Dre, Butter, he was a producer, and, you know, a couple of the keyboard guys like Barney Rubble or who else? Superfly used to be out there a lot on the keyboards, and that was it. It was just it was just us really, basically. And then I got a couple of singers to help, like do the backgrounds and stuff, you know, because I was doing all the parts before, just me doing the, you know, soprano, alto, tenor, all three parts. And then Dre like three girls in there really, just each part because it's quicker, you know. So I went and found a couple of girls, so they would come out every now and then. That's how it was. And then he got that project for Friday. That was that song was.
Yep.
Huh?
You talking about Aftermath?
Yeah, that was.
That came after.
No. This was.
Okay.
Are you talking about Keep the Heads Ring Friday, right?
Yeah, the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Right, that was 95. That was way before Aftermath. But the song was on Priority. It wasn't on Death Row.
Yeah, right.
This was a separate project that Dre did. So, you know, we did that, and that I'm telling you, I didn't even know how big that was going to be because Dre didn't really tell me a lot. He just, you know, we just did the song, and then I forgot. I heard about the movie. I forgot how that happened when I heard about the movie, but I just know that when it came out, and you know, they had the video. Well, first, the video was directed by F. Gary Gray. You know him, right? He's great. And
that is, man, yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah, we really,
legendary.
We did that.
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody from Friday was there, like Neil Long, Chris Rock. I'm sorry, Chris
Tucker. It's all good.
Right, Chris Tucker, right. And they were all there. It was so much fun. They were so cool. They were all in the video, and it was cool. But, you know, that was a fun time. But I didn't know that they were going to put the video, they were going to show the video at the movie theaters, right? I didn't know that. They added that. Because I don't know if y'all remember when the movie came out, they showed the video first. Or was it last? I forgot. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah, it was last. I think it was last because it came after that and followed up with the Friday video with Ice-T.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yep. So, but all my family back in New York, it was crazy. You know, just imagine when they went to the movie and saw me. So that was major for me. I loved that. That was so much fun. That record, it was like the biggest ringtone for that year. It was so much. It was so popular, and that was. I don't think Dre has ever done a song with any other female. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I am the only female that he has a song with. I think that was it. So that was special because, you know, Dre had never done anything like that, and that was a great opportunity for me. So that was a lot of fun. That was just so much fun.
When we think about that transition, Nancy, because, you know, that was 3 years after the Chronic dropped and 2 years after Doggy Style. Then we find out the situation because we still don't know yet until the 1996 issue with the Source magazine was Suge on the cover when and Dre, because they both told their sides of the story respectively. The next year, that's when we found out that Dre, Dre had left in 96, but like you said, the transition was in 95 where it was kind of like still, but even then when he once again hit us left field because we didn't expect that. I mean, and then
yeah.
Go ahead.
But I would say it was planned like way before that. Dre had because
Got
you know I was wondering why I couldn't sign because I was never signed to Death Row, right? But I was wondering after a while. In the beginning, we were trying stuff. I was gonna be solo, or I was gonna do a group. We brought some girls in. You know, they were trying everything to see what was gonna work for me. And Dre was like, "Nah, you know." So Snoop was like, "Well, you can kind of do it by yourself, you know." He was like, "They already got Destiny Child out there." Snoop was so crazy. I was like, because I had two other girls, but they was like, so then I was going to do it alone, but then Dre was like, nah, just chill, wait till this, you know, something was going on with Suge. He was like, wait till this dies down, because I was like, well, when am I going to sign, you know. I just chilled out, but then he was like, I'm about to do something else. He said, just chill, I'm not going to sign you here, I'm about to do my own thing, just wait, just chill. And that was like a couple of years before he made the move, so it was planned. People think that he, you know, left because when Pac came, that's what I heard that, but no, he was already, you know, because there was a lot of stuff going on up there, you know, it's crazy, but yeah.
I think for like you said, Go ahead, King.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I think for what it was, 95. For all of us hip-hop connoisseurs of the culture, children of it, 95 was just a special year. Oh, my God. I mean, we get Cuban Links, we get the Friday movie and soundtrack, Cuban Dre makeup, but year before, 94, you know, when they do Natural Born Killers for the Murder Was a Case soundtrack. I mean, you know, Jodeci drops their remix for Freaking You, I think. Well, that might have been 96. But, I mean, 95 to 96.
No, wait. Let me see. When we do, because I did Natural Born Killers with them. I'm trying to think when we did that. Was that after Friday, Natural Born Killers? I know.
No, that was 94. That was 94.
Yeah,
that was
94.
94. That was 94. But, I mean, that 95 to 96 era was just, I mean.
Oh, my God, right?
Words cannot even come out of my mouth.
The 90s period to me was the best era. The 90s was the best era for hip-hop to me. I mean, of course the 80s were good, but the 90s period was just a hot era. Everything happened then. You know, in R&B, everything.
Hands down.
Yeah, everything
You're part of that era.
Yeah, everything was booming. We talking for fashion. We
the
talking
90s. Remember
sports, video games.
Fashion, man.
Right, remember cross-color, Carcanine, all that stuff? The fashion.
Yeah.
Black designers start really getting their little, you know.
Man, I mean, that's something that
you had to be outside. It wasn't a lot of weirdo behavior being tolerated. It was a beautiful thing, man. Like,
right, it was.
It was more, it was more free will the 90s.
Right.
So obviously the song is highly successful. You all are just like, there's a collective have just totally gone nuclear in a good way in terms of, I mean, when you all, I mean, what is it like to be part of a winning team like the Chicago Bulls and the Yankees of just hitting back-to-back home runs like this? What was that like?
Well, you know, it was a lot of fun, and, you know, it was very, well, I can tell you this. When you're around, because we did, like, every TV show. We did Soul Train. We did SNL. We did, it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of movement, and, you know, the one thing that happened, you know, we did it, you know, I don't know if you guys remember Snoop's first tour we did. Remember? I don't know if you guys remember the Chronic Tour. No, I mean, was it the Chronic Tour? Did they call it the Chronic Tour? Or, yeah, I think it was, yeah. Mm-hmm. Y'all remember that? It was in 94? Because it was only like 3 days. It was so short-lived because it was crazy what happened, but...
I can believe it. Especially tonight.
Oh, my God. No, you have no idea. You have no idea. You just don't. It was 3 days. We were so hurt. It was us, Run DMC, Onyx, and The Boss, all Def Jam artists. Def Jam was so professional.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But we messed it up. We messed it up. But anyway, that was... But, yeah, we did... The tour was... Oh, my God. That was the best time in my life. I'm telling you. I was so excited. And there was another girl. Do you guys know... I don't know if I should bring Lauren's name in it, but have you guys seen that show called The Paternity Court? It's the judge on it.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Well, she was the other girl that was singing with me. This was before she was going. She had just graduated from law school and she was studying for her bar. And the same bass player, Tony Green, that got me. They were all. Tony was from Detroit. She was back in Detroit. He knew her. She was singing that she was just, you know, studying for the bar. So he flew her out to go on the Chronic Tour with us.
Damn.
And, yep, crazy, right? And she used to be studying her little work in rehearsals. And so she and I, me, her, and Joelle went. Me and Lauren, like, we were doing all the dance and everything. I was doing all my parts, and Joelle would just come out and do her part. I'm telling you, it was when Lauren and I first got on, like, the first dates or something, before we went, because we were so excited about that tour. It was so exciting. And when we were backstage right before we went on, we were like, we can't believe we're here. We're like, ah! We were so happy. And that tour was so good, you guys. That was when they brought out, I don't know if y'all remember when he brought out Sing of Eazy-E, and I think they decapitated or something, like it was like a little. AJ was out there with us, Ricky Harris. That tour was so good and so much fun. The only cities we got to do, we started in Rochester, New York, then we went to Milwaukee, and I think Atlanta. And I'm telling you, Atlanta show, oh my God, because that's when Atlanta was kind of just starting. Jermaine Dupri was out there, Dallas Austin, that whole crew. I met Monica. She was so young then. Huh?
Dark Studios, Dallas Austin. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I was in Dallas Studios. Because remember those kids.
Crisscross.
Remember the two? No. Before them, the ones that was with Lil Malik and Jamal. What was their name?
Illegal.
Oh my God.
Illegal.
Illegal, right.
Yeah.
Illegal was right. They used to hang out with us a lot, but they kind of broke up, and Jamal stayed with Dallas and Malik stayed with us. It was that was crazy. I can't even tell you about that whole thing.
Everybody was on tour. Everybody was on tour, young and getting money, and the culture was fresh. It was like y'all were on top of the world. You know what I mean? And nobody could tell y'all nothing. And plus,
I'm telling you. And the world treated us like that. Everybody. Snoop and Dre they had carte blanche. They were like the hottest thing. Everybody came to our shows. Everybody, the show in New York, every star I met, everybody came to our shows. It was so crazy. It was so much fun. The shows were so good. Dre is the one that organizes all the shows. He's the one that does everything. He has a vision, and he is so good at that. It was so good. It was so funky. He had so many little skits. It was funny, everything. I was so sad. We was all so sad when that tour stopped. I know Def Jam and them, because I met Onyx, and it was, because that was going to be like at least a year-long tour. Everybody was going to get rich, It was planned, and it was something that, oh, my God, I can't even tell you guys what happened. But, it was our people that did it.
I think he took the vision for the Up in Smoke tour from that and took it to the next level.
Yeah, something right. The same thing, because they repeated, like, that liquor store scene when you, at the beginning when they show Snoop and Dre in the liquor store, and then they walk out the store and they walk on the stage. All that was from the first Chronic tour, everything they did. And so I was so glad they got to do it again, because I loved, even though I wasn't there the second time, but yeah, Up in Smoke was so good, and I was so happy that they could really finish the tour, because the Chronic tour was crazy. It was so good, and just remember Onyx, the Boss. Remember the Boss, the female rapper, the Boss.
Yeah,
Onyx,
acronym.
and Run DMC. That was crazy. That was so good. That tour is so good, but.
And what's wild too is, I was just saying, what's wild too is, Death Row was flying high in '95 and '96. They signed possibly one of the biggest free agents of the game, and we talk about.
Oh my God, that was crazy!
Like,
oh my God,
people don't understand how big that signing was at the time. What are you talking about?
Right.
It was kind of like, it would be like Jordan coming back and signing with the Bulls again. That's how big this thing was.
Yeah.
And he brought a creativity. I could tell he brought a creative energy and a creative faction that it can't be duplicated. That's why it feels like there's only one Tupac out there. Everybody can try to copy him, but they can't duplicate that energy.
And they're still talking about it. Can you believe how relevant he is today? It's like, I can't even believe it. It's like, but I think he deserves it, because I think that makes up for him leaving so early. He left so soon. But
yeah.
You can feel his, his energy is still all that he deserves to live this long. He would have been like 50-something, right? It's like,
he
would have been a beautiful
today.
man. Oh, 54. He would have been a beautiful, grown man. He was, because, like I said, he, in another interview, he would have evolved, because he had a good heart to start. He was a good guy. Just imagine somebody. You remember he went and beat the cops up because he saw somebody then beat. Just
that was in Atlanta.
Imagine, who really does that? Like, what kind of person does that? Because anything could have happened to him, right? He could have died, but he didn't even think about that. He just saw somebody that was being mistreated, and then he was like, and that was him. That was like a natural instinct, and just a lot of, he got around the wrong situation, and it just brought out the worst in him. But he was still, during that time, I still saw so much good in him. He was good, and that's what he deserved to be. So that's why I like that they're still talking about him now. People are kind of seeing what he was going through and why he was doing certain things, that weren't really positive, like all that stuff in Vegas. That was just like peer pressure. It wasn't really what what he probably would have done if he had not been around certain people,
Absolutely. And you working with him and everything now. We've heard many stories about how he could be in the studio. Like, he was a one-take type of guy. He was very abrasive at times. Like, he was a workaholic. Like, what was your experience like working with him?
Yep, all that. He was all that. He was really, like I say, he was just like really, supportive of you when you were in studio. He was very serious. First of all, he was fast, and he, was just, he was so creative. I think that's why I wish he could have lived, because I just wanted to see him just go further. He was like a conductor, told everybody what to do, and he liked to do stuff on the spot. He wanted to be natural, like you couldn't go home and write. You had to do it right there. You know, you had to sing right there. You had to come up with whatever you had to come up with right there, and he would be in there pushing you. He was so, I mean, I've never met anybody that was so creative and so, he can just come up with stuff so quickly. And, you know, I did the stuff with him for Hammer. That was another thing. He was so into really making sure that Hammer made a comeback. He was like, he thought he deserved to be taken seriously, and he was telling me, you have to do this, you know, I want you to sing on this song. And we would do so many songs for Hammer, like, it was great. And Johnny J, I don't know if you know about him. He was
Rest in peace, Johnny J. Yes,
rest in
yes.
peace. Oh, my God, that was my guy.
Yes.
I was always with him doing stuff. They both were really trying to, because, you know, this is a time when I didn't know. I was still with Dre at that point. I think I left him later and went to Mac 10. I signed with Mac 10. But at the time, I think I was with Dre. But, you know, Tupac and Suge would try to, say little stuff like, oh, Nancy, why don't you come over here? But he didn't really mess with me before Tupac came that much, because there was a whole lot of stuff. But he had artists that he wanted Dre to work with, and then Dre wanted to work with me. So they didn't really, you know, they kind of took stuff out on me for no reason but for that. The thing is, everybody wanted Dre's attention, right? And when Tupac came, of course, you know, he kind of took all the air out the room. But Dre was still the one that, you know, the one that was in demand. Even Tupac wanted, but, you know, Tupac got Dre. He got, you know, because Dre really didn't want to work with anybody at the time. He was on his way out. He was really out. He had one foot in the door, one foot out, doing Aftermath, right? And I would come back there to work with Nate Dogg and Snoop and do stuff with them, and then Pac, of course, you know. So, you know, it was like a crazy time. But I do remember how much Pac was really into, you know, even me. Like, he really wanted to have great songs for me. I mean, he really wanted me to have great songs, and he really took a lot of time. I did like 8 songs with him in such a short time, and we had planned to do more, and then I did the Hammer song. So he was really focused. He had a lot of energy. He was so, you know, like I said, he was like, had his eye. That's why I was like, I wonder if he knew something. It seemed like he was trying to rush and do so much stuff because he didn't have time. Or maybe that was just his work ethic, that he just did songs, but he was always, and then he would do a song and the next song would come up, and he could rap off, you know, off the top of the head. He didn't have to, you know, and all of the Outlaws, they had to come in, they had to, you know, write, like they couldn't like go home and write, you know, prepare. They had to do everything right there. When the beat came on, they had to go. You know, if you ever meet me, they'll tell you they had to just go. And I think that's when you get the best out of people. You know, if you see that clip, there's a clip, you know, of me and him in the studio where I'm like, oh, come on, Pac, can I do it again? Let me do it again, whatever. And, you know, because I used to always want to do stuff over, not with him, but with Dre. And a lot of people, like, everything I did on Snoop's album was like one take. Like, they would never, I was like, oh, no, that's it. And I wouldn't want to perfect it, but, you know, it was good for that. But I would always know I could do better because, you know, one time when I just had learned, like, I would learn the stuff right then. It was like, okay, we'll do this. And I would just do it, and I would go in. And then I was like, well, no, I can do it better. No, it's good. Dre was like, sometime he was like, well, I got what I want, so you can try something if you want. And then I would do it. He said, okay, I got mine. Don't worry, whatever you do. But Tupac was one of the ones he let me. He was like, oh, come on, Nancy. And he was, okay, go ahead and do it. And then I would either make it better or do something. He was like, okay, all right, that's good. So, and then that was a few times we would do that. But he normally would, you know, because I think that he felt that everybody was like him, because he can go in the booth and just go from the top to bottom, just off the top. And just like, it would all be so good. And he could do it over and over again. that to me was incredible. I mean, you know, some people can do that, but it's rare. I think that's rare. I know it's rare. You know.
I mean, you and him had that New York connection though, because a lot of people forget that Pop was born in New York.
Right. I forgot about that too. I didn't know back then. I don't think I really.
Yeah, he was born in Harlem.
I heard back then. Yep. I just always thought he was from the West Coast until I found out. You know, I don't even know if it was before he died. I can't remember, but because I just saw him as, you know, West Coast. I remember him from Digital Underground and all that stuff, and I was so happy when I found it. I knew that, you know, not that, even though he was probably raised a lot in L.A., but, you know, he had a little edge, too, about himself. He was streetwise, more so than a lot of L.A. people, you know. People from back east are like a little more fast-paced in L.A., you know. It's kind of laid back in L.A., you know. And they weren't as conscious as they are now. People from back east, they were more like, you know, Tupac was raised with the Panthers and stuff. Out here they had like the five percenters. The Muslims like really
he had a Panther mentality.
Strong in the East Coast. Yeah, but back in LA they didn't really have that. Like, you know, 5 percenters and all that, you know. It was like really strong in the East Coast. So
now, one of the other records that you guys did that I love, I still bump to this day, is the one you and Pac did with Nate Dogg called Me and the Homies. That's one of my favorite records.
Oh, I know. Me and my homies love. Yeah, I love that song too a lot. See, I just wish those the type of songs, and Nate Dogg, please rest in peace. I love Nate Dogg. I hate that he's not here because I knew that we were going to do those songs live. Yeah, we've never been able to do any of those songs live. I'm going to do it in my show. Like, once I keep saying that, I've been planning it. But once I get something going, I'm going to make sure I do some of those songs because the fans of ours have never heard any of those songs live. None of them. Like that one. And a few more. Even, you know, just a few. So, like, none of his pop songs. That's what I hate, too. His tour. You know his tour is going to be crazy. I just really look forward Pac going on tour. I know I was going. I knew I was going to be on it. And I was just so mad because I love that album. All Eyes on Me is one of my favorite albums, too. Every song on there. I really don't skip too many songs in there. It's a lot. But if he could have been able to perform that album, just some of the songs on there, iconic, you know?
I mean, when you think about...
Hold on, I want to shoot this to you right here. I want to ask her this, too. And this is a funny question, actually. How y'all going to do Fat Joe like that at Thicker Than Water?
Thicker Than Water, the hood classic. Thank you for
yes, it is. Banging ass soundtrack, too. Man.
I love that movie. Thank you. I love Thicker Than Water. Okay, now you know what? I was in a singing group in that. I don't know if you know that I wasn't solo on that movie. Did you know about the group I was in? Sultry. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was you?
Homework.
Yeah.
Yes. That was me and my two other homegirls. And we were in the movie, too, and we had songs on the soundtrack.
500,000 times a day. Yeah.
Yeah, 500,000 times a day.
I have that soundtrack, yes, on cassette and CD.
You do? Ah!
Hey, man.
Thank you so much. You bought it?
I got it on cassette.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you a picture.
Okay. Thanks. That was the Mac 10 day. Mac 10's day. I love Mac 10. He's one of my favorite people too. He gave me a deal when I just left Dre. I was like, I'm tired of waiting around, you know, blah blah blah. And he signed. Musk gave us a lot of money. Looked out. You know, he did a few things. Helped me buy my mother's house and so everything. He was nice. I love Mac. But he just, you know, once he met T-Boz, they started dating and everything. I knew it was a wrap for them. I'm like, he's probably going to be so into her. And next thing you know.
Yeah, they got married.
It was all. Yep. And we was like, that's it. But I love Hoobanging. I love all my Hoobanging comrades and all the guys that was on the side with us, you know. That was fun time, too. We had fun.
Yeah, man. I'm like, man, y'all did crack kind of foul, man. He had him looking all lonely in the studio and shit.
But I'm gonna tell y'all.
Yeah, he brought the crowd in there.
But I'm gonna tell you why that soundtrack is so monumental and appreciated. For the shit that was going on for the shit that was going on with the East and West Coast at the time, that record was kind of the olive branch that really, really, really kind of put it into
right. Yes.
Because
remember Big Pun was up there. Big Pun was in there.
Memphis Bleak,
so
all
cool.
of them, they were up there. I mean, you know, you had a lot of East Coast. You know, really, really kind of. We kind of knew when we saw that, especially given the situation of Fat Joe being in that movie with him, that it really kind of because when people talk about the East Coast, West Coast, there were tensions between Pac and Big. We can't get into all of that on the air because it's a lot of stuff that we can't say about it that we do know. But we can say this: that was really a media-generated firestorm. It was not about Coast. It was just about two individuals, and more than anything, it was a misunderstanding between them that caused all of those problems. You know, like my brother said, had they just talked it out for 5 minutes, they would have got it straight, but they never got a chance to talk it out.
You know, they really loved each other. I know sometimes, like, when you really are hurt by somebody, that's how, you know, because nobody that you don't, I mean, a person that you don't care about can't really hurt you like that, you know?
Right.
The way he felt that Biggie, you know.
They were friends.
With him. Yeah. Yeah, he said that that Biggie used to come out to his place, that he used to teach him all the stuff like baby, babe, all that stuff. He said, and they used to hang out. He used to teach him, give him game and everything. And so I think that's, you know, I know they would have made up if they had both been able to live. It was just other elements that brought that, you know, whole situation to a halt. It's so sad.
Yeah. When you think about that era of what was going on at the time, I mean, when we look at the hip-hop movies, I mean, when we look at the group, and Soul Train was just so goddamn fine. I have to say that because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, my goodness. But when you think about how the music was at that time, I mean, we had movies that represented us. We had the music that actually fitted. What was that whole era like in terms of cinema and music for just hip hop and black culture in general that you observed during that time?
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let me do one. Oh, hold on. I think I can. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, it's
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now, what did you say? I'm sorry. What was the question? Sorry.
What was it like in terms of your observation, in terms of understanding how the movies and the music at that time really and truly represented black culture in an authentic and genuine way that really depicted our experiences in the hood?
Well, you know, like movies like Friday, just think about those kind of movies. And, you know, that, I say, Friday is one of the movies that I think depicted our culture so well. And even, you know, the movies Pac were in, those, I just think that they were showing, I think that hip-hop period just really helped bring the black culture to the forefront of the world, you know. And now you see it's like the biggest genre of music, and everybody from, I don't care what country, and they copy the way we dress. They use our slang. Everybody wants to rap now in every country. You know, it's like hip-hop, the culture. I think it started there when, you know, I think that's the first time that we were really, you know, because just think about that, like the 60s and 70s and 80s, we were still like not really able to be ourselves, and, you know, we didn't really love ourselves as far as our hair and our features. Then we started wearing our natural hair and started really learning about our history. We were kings and queens. So I think that's why I think the 90s was the era where we really, and then we had our own music. We created hip-hop. That gave us, you know, pride and power and confidence, you know, especially when we knew the world started really loving it. So I think that's what the movies reflected, all those movies like Friday, and, you know, I think it just showed black culture and black life. And then, I don't know, and I can't really say it was totally positive, you know, because a lot of the stuff, like the gang culture, and stuff like that might not have been, it wasn't really positive for the youth. But, you know, just the way we are slang, the way we were, the way we dressed, it was finally coming out into the forefront of our society. So,
yeah, and when we think about that time, Nancy, the situation was something that you know, really, really, really resonated because we looked at where the music was. You know, for Special Ed, he caught a lot of criticism on Drink Champs when he said about how NWA turned it into negativity. And shout out to Special Ed because we had him on the show last year, a legend.
Love him.
But when we look at it, the genesis of hip hop was raised in the streets of the Bronx, New York. That's where it started in earnest.
Absolutely.
And it was eventually going to manifest itself and evolve from the harder elements. You know, in the 80s, we look at LL, Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash, and Furious 5. You know, we saw the tales of the hood. We saw the party raps. We saw in the later 80s with Public Enemy and KRS more the consciousness. Of course, later the X-Clan, you know, and all of them. And I mean, even in the 80s, we had the, West Coast All-Stars and, the Stop the Violence movement, when they had self-destruction and, we're all the same gang.
Right.
Yeah. But in the 90s, with NWA, NWA started in 88 and even 86 with Ice-T, with Ron Hayes. I mean, that's in Schoolie D.
Right.
You can't forget Schoolie D, the originator of gangster rap. Everybody check your history. Right. Even Ice-T will tell you he got his style from Schoolie D when he was starting. But
I heard that.
Yeah. But NWA in 88 were the ones that really brought it to the national prominence that were pretty much, and after Cube left, he would go on with America's Most Wanted. But then again, people also forget. You got to remember between 88, 89, and 90, what albums do we see by artists drop? We see King T drop his album, Act a Fool, in 88, underappreciated classic. Shout out to Big T from Compton. We see Compton's Most Wanted in 1989. I think Straight Checking Them, that was the first album by them. I mean, and we haven't even gotten to DJ Quick. We haven't gotten to Cam. We haven't even gotten to everybody else yet. Watts Gangsters. Oh my God! I mean, OG Sinister. Yeah, so the streets, when hip hop really made its touchdown in the West Coast, and it really began, you saw a lot of these artists and producers come out of it. I mean, look. Everybody can say what they want to say, and I know there was some level of consternation. I know the West Coast, shout out to our people out there, we love y'all. I know the West Coast didn't always feel love because they didn't always feel readily embraced because, it took them a while.
But the East Coast, that's why I said I'm telling you, I think the Snoop era was really when East Coast start really, even listening to the West Coast. Even after that, even now sometimes, they play songs in L.A. that you'll never hear in New York right now, and vice versa, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they hear songs from New York, but I know there's songs in L.A. that they play right now you'll never hear in New York.
Man, shout out to they own joints. Shout out to the young guns like FT Hop Out, G Perico, Cam in China, Honest Malone.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's still a dope wave going on. It's still a dope
and
wave.
And we ain't even got to the Bay yet. We ain't even got to the Bay Area.
Oh, my God. Shout out to the Bay. E40 Northern, And that's what, Pac was out there a lot. That's what I always thought Pac was from the Bay, because he was always in the Bay.
Yeah, Ghetto
so much.
Theme. Yeah, he directed Matt Mall's Ghetto Theme video. That was the first, a lot of people don't know that, but he directed Matt Mall's Ghetto Theme video. Him, Ray Love. I mean, shout out to Kyrie, the producer. We had Matt Mall on the show a couple of years ago. We've had Richie Rich. Yeah, we had Richie Rich twice. Shout out to our.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We love the Bay, man.
We love the Bay. That's what we do about Off the Cuff Radio. That's what we do on Off the Cuff Radio. We build that bridge and we bridge those gaps Because, we all about unifying the culture at the end of the day, man.
Right.
And we on to the first hour. We probably about to have to wrap up because I know you got things to take care of, but we definitely want to keep in touch with you.
Yeah.
Now, you care to have any shout-outs you want to give out, and also give out your social media handle.
Okay, yes. Let me see. My social media is Nancy, Nanci.Fletcher on IG. And what else am I on? Am I on anything else? I don't know. I think that's all I'm on IG. Oh, maybe Facebook a little bit. No, but I got to get my stuff together. I am going to get my little social media stuff together. I got to get management, which I am doing. I'm start doing some theater and film, everybody, so look out for that. I'll let people know on IG. And what else is, I'm sorry, what else? What else? I'm sorry, what else did you ask me?
Oh, yeah, any shout-outs you want to give out?
Oh, yeah, shout-outs, yes. Oh, shout-out to, oh, my God, everybody that supports me out there. Shout-out to everybody. Shout-out to Dre, Snoop, everybody that I've worked with, everybody that I still deal with. I'm Sam Sneed. Please shout-out to my guy, Sam Sneed, Butterflex, everybody out there. Who else? Shout-out to, I don't know. I can't think right now, but everybody, all my supporters. That's really everybody that follows me on IG. I've been on IG since like 2018, so I've not really been on there a lot. I got to really build, but I've got a few people that follow me. Thank you to you guys, and thank you to everybody. I've been doing stuff in the metaverse too, you guys. I don't know. Have you guys been in the metaverse? You guys do that? You guys go in the metaverse?
We still in AOL. We ain't out there yet.
Okay. That's right. No rush. It's crazy in there, but yeah. So shout out to all my friends in the metaverse. I did a song in there. I did the first song to the first late night show in the metaverse, but that was on when Microsoft had that. I did it for them, but they took their platform off. But anyway, so shout out to everybody out there. That's all I can think about right now. But I hope to talk to you guys again. You guys, thank you for having me. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me again. You guys are the best.
Always.
Thank you so much for the support.
We got to get that part two. We got to get that part two. Oh my goodness, this is too good. We got to get a part. We got to get a part two.
I know we will. Yeah. You guys, come on. Thank you so much, and
all right.
I wish you guys all the